Hi, it's Sharon here. Today it's a little bit something different. I have been following Helen Colebrook, Journal with Purpose, for quite a while, and I enjoy doing journaling, art journaling, and keeping gratitude diary. And this was a little idea she came up with of making journaling zines. They're done on a monthly basis. You can make up 12. She has a tutorial of how to actually make up the little booklet. This is my January one. The cover, I've been stamping the date and month on there, the year and month on there. A little bit about myself, that I'm a crafter, my two granddaughters that were born, what I'm reading, and a summary. My writing is atrocious. I've started trying to do some practice books with brush pens to try and improve it. Anyway, that was my first one. I've now decided I'd come on and do a couple of pages in February just to show you. These are little books all made out of an A4 sheet of paper. I'll link below Helen Colebrook's tutorial on how to make them, and you can go to her if you want to do them. I thought it would be quite nice to have a collection of 12 through the year. Now today I'm going to do the front cover. This is paper. Helen Colebrook also has a monthly kit come out that you can buy from her website or subscribe on Patreon and get. Right, I'm going to cover it up first of all with this paper. I'm using just tacky glue, and these little journal zines are just a snap of what happens to you during the month. Anything significant, reading, watching. Obviously January I had my two granddaughters were born, so that was very significant. So I'm just covering the front cover, put down on here like that. As I say, this was never meant to be this is for me. It's not some massive art project or anything like that. These are just quick snippets. And it's for something I do for myself, but I thought some people might be interested in carrying on doing them as well themselves, especially if you are into any sort of form of journaling yourself. They're really interesting to look back on, I would imagine. I tend to do them at the end of the month so that I can have a recap of the month. Some people on YouTube have been doing them at the beginning of the months. Entirely up to you what you want to do. Okay. I think I'm going to go with this side. Yeah. As I say, they're not perfect little journals or by any means. They're just to keep a note. Anyway, what I've also got, I'm using Weatherwood Distress ink. I've got these quotes that I've actually taken from Amity Bloom. She has a selection of words about growth, love, and hope. And as you can see on my first one for January, hope smiles from the threshold of the year to come, whispering it will be happier. I thought that was quite appropriate considering what's been going on for the last year. Hopefully this year will be a better year. It's promising at the moment. Mind you, we're in Spain and the vaccinations haven't quite got rolled out completely yet due to a lack of vaccines. I won't go into that one. That's another story altogether. Okay. Oh, and I've got the February bit. So I keep it quite simple. You don't have to do much. You can do journaling. These first 2 pages, I'm not actually going to do any journaling. I'm just going to document what I've been reading and for the month and what I've been watching. And if you're in the UK, you'll probably recognise the TV programme that I've been watching. And again, I thought this saying was quite appropriate for this year. Hopefully. Never lose the hope inside you. Tomorrow might be the day you've been waiting for. Hopefully that will be very true. There we go. As I say, you can entirely make these how you like and use whatever papers. We've all got plenty of digital kit papers that we can use. There. So I'm just keep it very simple. Now inside, I'm going to do what I've been reading. This is some Amity Bloom paper from California Dreaming. I'm just going to tear a piece for myself, like this, and then across there. She does some lovely colourful papers. I don't know what people like, but I've really got into her papers lately. I've really enjoyed using them. I'm actually going to make a journal, a traveller's notebook journal with them as well. That I'm going to use for myself. She also does a traveller's notebook journal size diary, which I think I'm going to use the yellow on this one. Yeah, looks quite nice. I'm using fossilised amber on this, just to ink the edges round. And as I say, this is entirely up to you. That's what I like about it. If it's a mess, it's a mess. It doesn't really matter. It's just your memories that you're doing, nobody else's. And it's just for you, and maybe for your kids when they get older. And I say things, and it's for you to also look back on and see what you've done that year, that during that year, and what happened in that month. Last year, I did keep a journal through COVID, sort of a memory keeping journal through COVID, just specifically for that. And that even now is interesting because it's a year ago that Spain went into lockdown this weekend. And it's just interesting to read what we did and the optimism. We thought it was all going to be over in a couple of weeks and we'd all be okay. And then a year on, this is where we are. Now this is some die cuts. I can't remember where I got these die cuts. Probably AliExpress, as that's probably where most of them come from. We can't get a lot of craft materials here. So I'll put that there. And then the book I've been reading is The Chocolate Lover's Wedding by Carol Matthews. Now I've got a little, this is the fun bit, trying to get it undone. I've got a little HP sprocket that I use and to print my photos, which are 2x3 normally. This one, I've done 2 on one sheet, and you'll see on the next one, it's actually a smaller size. Do you know what I think I'm going to do? Lift this up very gently. Whoops, oh dear. No, lift that up, put that back down like that. That's it. That goes over the top. Should have thought of that when I did it. Anyway, I think it looks quite pretty. And then what I've also got is I've got a old typewriter, and I've just typed out the word reading to put on here so I can remember what I was reading this month. Anyway, going back to the sprocket, I find it very good. If you're into memory keeping, they're a very good little machine, good photo printer. I also use, I'll go on, sorry, I go on to the next one. I'll tell you about what I use in a minute. Right, with this one, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Now, the programme I've been watching is Death in Paradise, which is a programme from the UK. Again, I'm going to do something similar. So I'm not into matchy-matchy, but this is quite nice to do like I did with the pictures of the granddaughters. So it goes up, use it like that, tear it. I do like these tearing rulers, quite handy. Oh, and this paper is from Janie B's Vintage Wallpaper, which is a lovely kit. And again, it matches with the Amity Bloom, which was California Dreaming. I can't remember if I mentioned that or not. Kit. Anyway, going back to the photos, I also use an app called PicStitch. Now, I think I will use Vintage Photo with this one to do the edges. Try and get rid of some of that white. Yeah, with PicStitch, you can do 4 photos, 2 photos on one sheet of 2x3. It's quite simple to use. I use, if you have an HP sprocket, I use the, that goes there nicely. I use the 4x6 portrait size, and I can get 4 photos on that, or I use the 4x6 because when I print it out on the sprocket, it fills up the whole sheet of paper. So that I either have very big 2x3s, but for this one I decided I needed to shrink them down a bit. Now, which way round? That way round, I think. Like that. There we go. Okay, one of the other things I'm doing for this page is getting an old book page, and I've got a stamp here, which you can't really see because I've got it on the block. It's a flower, and I'm going to stamp it with the Vintage Photo onto the book page. Doesn't matter where. Like that. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be anything. We're not about perfection here. Well, I never am anyway. I can never seem to get anything perfect. Clean the stamp off. Now, this is part of a stamp kit from Helen Colebrook as well. She does a lot of, her website and her, she's under Helen Colebrook on YouTube. Instagram, she's under Journal with Purpose. And she does kits and stamps and dies as well. And these are some of hers, mainly for the bullet journaling, but I like the flowers on there. Now, I'm going to colour with a Posca paint pen. I don't know if anybody's used these, but I love them. I tend to use them quite a bit when I'm doing my own journaling, not so much in the junk journals that I make. Mind you, I'm just about to start a Peter Rabbit one, which has got a bit of a yellow theme, and I was thinking this would look quite nice on a page in there if I stamped it and coloured it and put it on a book page. I thought would look quite good. So colour that in. This is the 5M size, so it's quite a chunky tip to it, as you can see. I also have the 1 MR size, which is a much smaller tip. I don't know if you can see that there. More for writing and colouring finer things in. But I do enjoy using these. The only thing is, with an old book page, it tends to be a bit rough. And then, around the edge, I'm going to use a mild liner that I've got. Use the fine tip on the end. Again, I use these a lot in my journaling for colouring in the dates, the months, etc. Put a bit of that up there, like that. Now what I plan to do, and if this works, is actually tear this out, hopefully. As you can see, it all dries quite quickly. Tear around the flower, bring it down like that, around there. I've been actually quite lucky with filming lately as well. I'm right under a window, and our weather has gone really lovely the last few days. It's one of the reasons I moved here, is the weather. But lately it hasn't been great, but the last couple of days it's been lovely. Right, okay, whoops. I'm going to just ink the edges with some of the vintage photo around the edge, like this. I say also, doing something like this gives you the chance to use supplies that maybe you don't use that often. As I say, I don't use the mild liners or the Posca pens really in the junk journals, so I thought that looked quite nice there. And I can put the photo there. So that looks quite nice. So yeah, I'll do that. And as I say, this is your choice now on these, so you can mismatch anything as much as you like. Nothing has to be the same, or a theme, if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. However, I must say, I must get my writing better. I need to practice at least 10-15 minutes a day, which I haven't been doing. I do need to start doing more regularly. There, put that down there. Yep, this is the only problem when you're trying to peel these, is to take that off. I'll put that there. And then again, I've done tight watching. So I managed to get through all the series in February of Death in Paradise. Even though I saw them many years ago when they were first out, I still managed to get through all of them. Again, they were still interesting again to watch. Whoops. I think I'll put that there. There. So you see, you can come up with something, gives you a little reminder of what you've done in that month. And as I say, there's my front cover. I might edge the edges, ink the edges with the weathered wood as well, I think. And there's my January one. So when I can put them together at the end of the year, I will have some lovely little reminders of what I've done this year. I hope this inspires, can't get my words out, inspires people to go and have a look at Helen's tutorial on how to make these one-page zines. There are quite a few other tutorials around on Facebook about zines and what you can use them for, but I think they're so cute little journals. Thanks very much for looking, and I hope this was okay. Have a good day. Bye.